breaking news here on Texans Today. The NFL has suspended Denzel Perryman for 3 games for a violation of helmet-to-helmet hits going up against the NFL's player safety policy. I mean, we'll break down this in full detail, but one of the Texans' top linebackers, Denzel Perryman, is going to be out for the next 3 games. Now, here is the NFL's statement on the Denzel Perryman suspension. I'm not going to read all this. You can screenshot this. You can pause it if you want to read it. But basically, they're saying for this hit and multiple other hits throughout the season, they are going to suspend Texans linebacker Denzel Perryman. Here's the hit in question on Ja'Marr Chase. I did my best to scrub through the highlights and get you this screenshot of the exact hit. So basically what happened is Ja'Marr Chase caught a short ball, was running up the field, and kind of went down, kind of sliding situation as Denzel Perryman made the hit. Obviously a helmet-to-helmet contact, and we'll get into more about Denzel Perryman and his history with helmet-to-helmet contact, but not looking good for Denzel Perryman, at least with this hit. As we look at the Texans linebacker depth chart, luckily the Texans have some depth. Blake Cashman having a career year for the Houston Texans. Henry To'oTo'o playing nicely as a rookie from Alabama. Christian Harris, also a good option as well. They have Cory Littleton, Jake Hansen, and Neville Hewitt also on the roster. So I'm not too worried. I don't think the Texans need to go running and add somebody for linebacker depth, but not good whenever one of your best linebackers is going to be out. So I just want you to be honest with me. Take the Texans goggles off. Give me your honest opinion, because that's what I want in this show right now. I want to hear from you folks at home what you really have to say. Should he have been suspended? Do you think Denzel Perryman deserved to be suspended for 3 games for that hit? Let me know down in the comments section. I know he's had some other helmet-to-helmet hits throughout this season, but let me know your honest opinion. Give me a yes, give me a no, and then let me know why you think that. If you think, yes, he should be suspended, why do you think he needs to be suspended for 3 games? If you think no, give me your honest opinion on why you don't think he should be suspended. I'll be looking down in the comments section. Now, first off, I'm going to say this. I get why the NFL is taking this stance with player safety. Ever since that Will Smith movie came out and everything around concussions, CTE, the NFL has been very touchy-feely around helmet-to-helmet hits and helmet, head contact. They're trying to eliminate harmful plays and look out for player safety, all of which I agree with and I totally get, because at the end of the day, these guys are human beings and you want to look out for their safety as best you can, as much as you can. And ever since, the NFL, like it or not, they definitely, kind of swept some stuff under the rug in the past, 20 years prior to that Will Smith movie coming out about helmet-to-helmet contact, CTE, and the effects it can have on these guys' brains. So I get totally the 180 flip that the NFL has done in the past 10 years, even though I know older generations, older folks will say, this isn't the football I love to watch. This isn't the football that I loved growing up, because it's not the same football, because they're trying to protect these guys and help them from, becoming vegetables. So I 100% get the NFL stance for this. But I do think they might have a target out on Denzel Perryman. They might be picking on this guy a little bit too much. I'll get into that in just a few moments, but before I do, today's show sponsored by Prize Picks. I could not have done it without them. They're the best daily fantasy sports app on the market. It's daily fantasy sports made easy, folks. And it's as easy as this. I mean, you go and you test your skills on Prize Picks this football season, and it's the most exciting way to do so. All you got to do is pick 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stat types, and voila, you put in your picks. With just a few taps, you can turn $10 into $250, and it's that easy, folks. Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, Prize Picks discount select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value. Here are the picks that I'm rolling with this weekend on Prize Picks. Give me the C.J. Stroud. Yeah. Give me the more on his passing touchdowns at 1.5. I think he'll throw 2 or more touchdowns this weekend against Arizona. This one, I mean, me and producer Smitty were laughing about this one earlier. This is just, they're going on the Kelce bandwagon here, but so am I. I'm going more on 0.5 touchdowns for Travis or Jason Kelce. What if Jason Kelce got the touchdown on a fumble recovery or something? That would be nuts. I'm also going more on Jalen Hurts rushing touchdowns. I feel like that is, an easy, I'm not going to say lock, but almost a lock every single week that, 9 times out of 10, I feel like Jalen Hurts is going to get a tush-push touchdown. I just think it's inevitable. And then CeeDee Lamb, he's been on a tear for the Cowboys, even though I hate the Cowboys. I got to go more on CeeDee Lamb receiving yards because you got to put respect where it's due. And I'm trying to make my money, folks, and you can too over at Prize Picks when you use our link, prizepicks.com/CLNS, and use code CLNS for a $100 deposit match, folks. I'm telling you this, it's daily fantasy sports made easy. And if you want to get started today, like I said, go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks. It's daily fantasy sports made easy. Now, is the NFL targeting Denzel Perryman? You see what I did there? Pretty good. I'm not going to lie. Pretty good. But I think they might have a hit out on Denzel Perryman. I did it again, Smitty. 2 puns in one little, intro read right there. I love it. But look at these facts right here. In week 2, the NFL fined Denzel Perryman, and this is a real number. You can look it up. $66,666. I don't care what you say. That is a crazy fine number. I mean, no matter what math you do, how you come to that number, if I'm the person in the NFL head offices, and I see a fine of $66,666, I'm saying no. We're making it 67, or we're just making it 66. That is weird and creepy. But also, another thing with that figure, highest fine for an NFL targeting in NFL history. Interesting. And you know who actually owned that before? Oh, yeah, it was also Denzel Perryman last year whenever he hit Jalen Hurts with the Las Vegas Raiders. He got fined $55,000 for that. Interesting. So you're telling me the same guy is getting fined more and more, breaking NFL records for fines on targeting penalties, when I know for a fact he's not the only one targeting in the NFL. Because if you watch any NFL Sunday game, I mean, these guys are hitting each other in the head. It's almost inevitable. It happens all the time. And it seems like the NFL has made it clear. They've made a point to say, hey, Denzel, we are watching you. You're on our list. We give you no mercy. We give you no leniency at all. Anytime we see it, fine. That Parks and Rec scene, straight to jail. Denzel Perryman, you make a hit, straight to jail. Denzel Perryman, you go sideline to sideline, straight to jail. I'm telling you that right now because they are on a mission to make a point out of Denzel Perryman, and I don't necessarily think that that's fair. I mean, I get player safety, and I get trying to protect these guys, but at the end of the day, these guys are playing for their livelihood in a violent game. These guys are playing a game that is based on hitting, and their job depends on them getting hits and making those hits and making sure the other team doesn't score or the other team isn't able to move the ball forward. Whenever your livelihood is making sure that guy doesn't get past you, you're going to do everything in your power to make sure that guy doesn't get past you. And I feel like the NFL is making it harder and harder on these defensive players to make a livelihood and do their jobs, especially when they're getting fined $55,000 and $66,000 a week. And I know what you're saying. He's an NFL player. I mean, he makes millions of dollars. Regardless, I mean, he's not a gazillionaire. $66,000 in a fine is still a ton for Denzel Perryman. That's still a lot of money for a guy like that. So, I mean, I get it. And some of these situations, like I said previously in the video, they're inevitable. You're playing a game that involves tackling and hitting. Honestly, NFL, let me know, what should these guys do? Because you're saying, oh, like maybe you should, in this instance, stop and slow up and do this and do that. But in a game where it's seconds, in a game that moves so fast, everybody talks about the NFL, the pace of play is so much faster than college and than any other league in professional football. The pace is so fast. How do you expect these guys to make split-second decisions on whether or not, oh, my head is too far down. I need to do my head like this. I need to do my head like that on a tackle. I get it. You don't want guys headhunting and you don't want guys hurting opposing players. But at the same time, what do you want these guys to do? And you've only made these changes within, the past 10, 15 years. Some of these guys have been playing since they could walk. So they've been trained their entire life to play a certain way, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, yeah, you can't tackle like that. Sorry. And I get it's a process, and you're trying to get it out of the game. But at the same time, you can't target these guys, and you can't make it where these defenders can't make plays at all. I get the Jamar Chase hit somewhat, but if you go back and look at that Denzel Perryman hit on Jalen Hurts last year, was it a penalty? I mean, was it fine worthy of $55,000? I don't necessarily think so, especially when you see crackback blocks and you see, blocks that tight ends, wide receivers, offensive linemen make on defensive players, and they almost never get fined. I mean, besides the random running back lowering his head this year, which is a whole nother story because that is absolutely insane. At the end of the day, I think the NFL is going a little bit overboard on some of these guys, especially Denzel Perryman, a 3-game suspension. That is absolutely wild. Now, I'll be breaking down this more in detail throughout the week, and I'll be leading you up to kickoff up against the Arizona Cardinals. So go ahead and follow me on Twitter at Jeremy Chuggs. And for up-to-date information on the Houston Texans, for the latest news, the latest rumors going on around the team, if they sign a linebacker, if anything else happens this week, you know where to go. It's here on Texans Today. Go to youtube.com/Texans Today or go underneath the video and hit that subscribe button.